Hello everyone. One of the most important concepts in Norse cosmology is the concept of the world tree. And there is a name that we hear many times in the sources, Yggdrasil. And this is the tree that we are told that connects different worlds in Norse cosmology. A tree that connects the world of the gods, there in the heavens, the different worlds, that there are the worlds of the elves, the worlds of the dwarves, and also the world of the dead, the world of the ancestors that we are told that is to the north and below. We usually now in modern times consider that to be the underworld and consider that the world of the gods would be in the upper world. And we are here in Midgard, in our middle world, that we are able to reach out to the skies and we are able also to dive into the underworld if we want to connect with our ancestors. And this tree is a symbol for it that we have in different cultures. We do have indeed this understanding that shamans, for example, for Siberia, could go up and down the tree, could journey to these different worlds below and above. And other different traditions also see the tree as a different way of us connecting with different parts of ourselves, different, worlds within ourselves. And all these conceptions indeed about the tree are very much, similar in some ways, different because they all come from different cultural contexts, but they all point for this understanding that the tree can teach us, either the symbology of the tree or either just the feeling of what it is to be a tree can teach us something. The way that their roots go down and solidify and structure, their upper body, and the way that their branches go forth and try to reach out for new ways to connect with the sun and the rain and the elements, and how this going upwards is also then for us humans a metaphor of just connecting to the beyond, connecting to what is beyond the material world and maybe even beyond our minds, beyond our narrow conceptions of the material world that our mind have, to just be open to something that is sometimes only to be discussed with poetry or with symbology of different ways, with something that is beyond words. So, and indeed, Yggdrasil in the Norse cosmology, we have this hint that could also be a point that could be used to ride up and down the tree, because the name Ygg is one of the names of Odin, one of these terrifying or fierce names of Odin. Ygg means the terrible one, and Odin has a lot of different names like that, that are meant to, let us say, challenge you and are meant to make you go beyond your conceptions, to just go, and be presented with something new that can be terrifying at first, but then once you get to understand it, once you get to understand a little bit more of what your fear is of that terrible thing, then maybe that is not a fear anymore. And that terrible thing is just a different aspect of the whole cosmos. So yeah, but Ygg means the terrible, and Drasil means steed. So it's the steed of Odin, or the horse of Odin. And indeed, Odin has a different horse, Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse, which again maybe also hints at his traveling through the 9 worlds. And 9 is this very much key magic number in the Norse cosmology. And there are indeed 9 worlds in Norse cosmology as well. And indeed, Yggdrasil being then the tree where Odin can ride and journey to different worlds. And maybe we can also as well do that. And indeed, there are different techniques for doing that. We're not going to discuss them here. It's just hinting at the possibilities that this tree can give us. But there are also the other part of what the symbology of the tree is, which is to work within our own energy body, to really make ourselves more balanced and more in tune with what is around us, and what is within us. And indeed, this tree is then the symbol for that you have in different cosmologies, like you have the tree of life, that is very much common with some different religious traditions. And you also have, this very much used in modern spirituality of the concept of the chakras, different energy centers around the body that kind of you can then direct the energy and then blossom with the top of your head. Should be mentioned that this system of 7 chakras is one that came to the modern world in India and here in the Western world, but also in medieval times there were different systems, and more than just being how the energy body is, what systems of chakras and other systems of energy energy centers within the body, what they hint is that how we can modulate and regulate our energy body so that it gets more balanced. Yeah? And there's not doesn't have to be 7, it can be 3, for example. You can just connect with the lower part of yourself, the middle part of yourself, and the upper part of yourself, and that can also work. And in the Norse cosmology, that can work particularly well because we have also from the texts, from the Old Norse texts, we have these animals, these beings that live in the Yggdrasil, in the world tree, and we have in the underworld, beneath the trees, beneath the tree itself, within the roots, we have this dragon called Nidog, and it's source of power, of energy, and also of something we say that it's the essence that eats everything that goes under the earth once it's dead. And it's this power that the dragon represents that is under the ground, under the earth, that you can connect with and raise within ourselves. And then we also hear that on the top of the tree there is this ego, this majestic ego that is overseeing all the world. And we are told as well that, in a very strange way, between the eyes of the eagle there is a hawk. There is a hawk that I sometimes call a swift hawk of piercing vision. And indeed, we know a name for that hawk, which we don't know for the eagle, the name of the eagle, but the name of the hawk is Vetrfolnir. Say, see, with his mangled Old Norse pronunciation. But yeah, so we know this name for this hawk, which, in my view, if we see the upper part of the tree as being the upper part of ourselves and the eagle sitting here in this upper part of ourselves, we can maybe meditate and stabilize our mind and our attention. And then maybe here in this point of the third eye, that is indeed a point that has been sacred for many different cultures, we can then feel that piercing vision of that hawk. And we can connect with it, and we can use different techniques to really meditate and try to be aligned, raising the energy of the dragon, and then going beyond the mind and the material world with this point in the third eye. There is a third animal that is told in Norse cosmology that connects the dragon below and the eagle above. And it is a squirrel that goes up and down the tree, exchanging apparently angry messages between the dragon and the eagle. Apparently they don't like each other, and the squirrel would be happily going up and down, sending messages, sharing the messages between these two beings. And as funny as this can be, this again can point to other different parts of ourselves, and indeed how we can, with our hearts, feel what is right, feel how much energy do we need to raise from below, how much focus and calm and distance we need to have from our upper world above to the material world, and how we can regulate these two. How can we make sure that we are like the squirrel within our own tree, within our own energy body system, to make our best, guesses that we can be as balanced as we can. And we can do that close to a tree, where we feel very much connected to the ground, to the earth that supports us, that holds us, and we can be connected to the skies and connected to the majesty of the skies And here we are, trying to feel the beauty of both of these principles extremes of high and low, heavens and below, and with it maybe come to some kind of realization, experience, maybe even transformation. Up to you to discover more of what Yggdrasil means for you. Hail Yggdrasil.